So we just launched 15 days back and the response that we got is amazing. We got more than 500 downloads in just 15 days without spending anything on marketing.
What is the check size you're looking to raise?
So right now we are raising around $500,000.
When Reliance, the Ambanis stepped into the game, they always believed in empowering the common man. There was this slogan, Roti Kapda Makan, and the Reliance Jio guys did Roti Kapda Makan and cell phone. हर आदमी के पास एक cell phone होना चाहिए.
You are a partner. You are providing a lead to my business partner who is a taxi owner. He will charge a small lead generating fee because he is providing a lead. And even the customer is absolutely okay with that because the overall fee is still very less than what the aggregator is offering.
Hello and welcome to a super fantastic episode of Pitch Cafe podcast. Today we have with us a special founder all the way from Bengaluru, India. And the reason I call him special is because he's trying to challenge the likes of Uber and Ola. Hey, I'm not kidding. This is true. There was a wave where companies like Uber, Ola made it so easy to get taxi cabs and put taxi companies out of business. They took a huge margin as a cut and struggled a lot with policies. So the taxi driver's life or the driver's life went a lot of ups and downs. Now, what this founder is going to do is give the power back into the hands of the taxi driver. And ask me how. He's giving the taxi driver full independence to keep the margin which he was otherwise going to share with the intermediary party. Now, does this make sense? Well, if a government like the Indian government with an initiative like ONDC is making all the taxi drivers visible on a single platform, then definitely this makes sense. So we are here with a very next gen entrepreneur, one of the builders of digital India, who is giving the power back to the hands of the taxi driver. Let's welcome on Pitch Cafe podcast, Rahul. Rahul of Towner Taxi. Rahul, welcome to Pitch Cafe podcast.
Thank you, Vida. Thank you very much. And it's my pleasure to be here.
Wonderful.
And I'm looking forward to.
Awesome. So Rahul, when I met you for the first time, we were at SaaSCon and you pitched your startup to me. The first thing I thought was, my God, these guys are reversing whatever Uber did. So tell me, what is Towner and how did Rahul, who was otherwise a geek engineer, how did he come to start this company?
Okay, so you can call me a geek. So I did my master's in US. I did a research for Natic Soldier US Army. So it was in aerodynamics and I have a paper published in my name as well.
Wonderful.
But somehow it didn't click and probably was not happy with what I was doing and I came back to India. And I started my journey in industry working for bigger projects. I started with Delhi Metro Yellow Line and many other international projects as well, billion-dollar projects. But somewhere something was lacking wherein I thought I had a lot more potential to contribute to the society and bring some change at a very ground level. It was just an idea, but it came out of while doing a ride when a driver complained about how after, he's in so much debt that he has to drive each day 12 hours to 14 hours just to cover up the debt. And I thought Ola and Uber is doing fantastic. Everyone on that platform is doing great. He was like, no, that's not the case. And that's when I met my partner, Mr. Raghavendra. So he is the deep domain expert in this industry. So he even tried a hand on this and he could get a traction of more than 18,000 drivers as well on the platform.
Well, what did you mean by he tried a hand on this? You mean Uber or?
Actually, his journey has been very interesting. So he has been entrepreneur since long time, maybe more than 10 years now. And he has been very passionate about solving these problems about the drivers. And that's when he had a similar idea and he started an application. He tried this to, create this independence and freedom to create, provide that strength to the drivers with this technology as a weapon,
Yeah.
to become independent and more stronger.
Yeah.
And that's when I came in the picture, and we met and we discussed, and we were like, fantastic, let's do it together. And that's when we joined hands, and so we started the Towner. And now we are here.
Wonderful. So he's the domain expert and you are the expert in building the app. Is that correct?
Let's say we both are. So we both created this family. So we have a wonderful family right now, of all the hardworking and passionate engineers and every other strategy people, everyone. So we have been blessed with a lot of industry experts as well, who are guiding us and advising us in the right direction. So so we have built this very strongly. So I come with the project expertise from that background. So I know what it takes to create a big dream. So when you're handling $1 billion project, so what kind of steps you have to take care in present for the future.
And
when you have
how did you get that experience? Which particular job and what kind of role did you do?
Right. So it started right from Delhi Metro when I started. So Delhi Metro itself was a very challenging part, wherein the Delhi terrain and everything was a difficulty. So if you take any civil engineering industry or any construction industry, it comes with a lot of challenges. It's not just the technical challenges, but the societal challenges when you are executing.
Yeah.
So execution is a big part. So you have to plan in proper, you have to be within the timeline and make sure you're within the budget as well. So you plan everything in advance. So that is where we get that, I got that experience while executing these kind of projects. While executing Delhi, whether it is Delhi Metro or I was in oil and gas and
Wow.
a lot of other infra projects. And so I've been doing different projects internationally as well. I've been in Gulf, I've been in Europe as well. So a lot of
Wonderful.
places.
No, an idea is good. Their dime a dozen, but execution is what matters. And I totally agree with you. And execution at scale is the game of the startup, and looks like that's what you learned in your past jobs. So Rahul, tell us a little bit about what is Towner app like, and what do you guys do with the ONDC initiative of the government? How do they connect?
Towner, what I would say, the Towner's vision and what government's vision with the ONDC, it's on the similar line. So we are trying to do the same thing. We are trying to empower the grassroots people, to give the power back to the grassroots people. Don't make the wealthy again. Don't put the money with the wealthy. Distribute it. That's how you develop a society. That's how you empower the society.
Correct.
That's what the thought has been always.
Correct.
To empower the society which has been down looked upon,
Yeah.
which needs your support, which needs to, upbringing, where it creates a huge magnitude. There's a magnitude,
Absolutely.
the magnitude where it changes the whole society.
When Reliance company, the Ambanis stepped into the game, they always believed in empowering the common man. There was this slogan, Roti Kapda Makan, and the Reliance Jio guys did Roti Kapda Makan and cell phone. हर आदमी के पास एक cell phone होना चाहिए. And that was a time when we used to use button phones. They made that a common man's a commodity. And today, because of the digital phone, cell phone access and applications, apps on the phone, India is at a total different level with digital pay and things like that. So that's what essentially you're doing for the taxi drivers, because not all taxi drivers are well educated. They don't have advanced degrees. And because of that, even though they are very skilled in what they do, they get looked down upon because they don't have that kind of sophistication. And probably the commissions they get or which the middle party takes is higher, but you're now with this app you're empowering them to keep their own margin. Tell me what the app looks like and how it works.
Right. I'll come to that just in a moment. But a very interesting point here when you mentioned about the taxi drivers being less educated. Being less educated is still fine, but they have a very huge potential. They are the eyes and the ears of the society they wander in. Okay. The potential that lies within is very huge. Yeah. So coming to the application, so it's a very simple application that we have made, as you said. So they are less educated or they may lack with English or something.
Correct,
So
correct. That's what I meant. Maybe they are not. They are very. I know. I understand that they have a lot of potential. They are going around. They're exploring. They have a lot of common sense. Because of the language barrier, there is a lot of things they can do. They don't have a digital connect, and I think that's what your app is giving them. Right?
Correct. Absolutely correct. So that is what we are giving. That is the strength that we are giving, the weapon with the technology, and that too a simplified technology which they understand at their level.
Correct.
We don't want to complicate it. It's a very simple application for the drivers or the taxi owners, whereby they can, interact with it in their own language. We have all the Indian languages, all the majorly spoken Indian languages in our application where they can interact with. And it's a very simple process where they can, so basic documents which is required to run a simple taxi commercial vehicle in India, which is already available with them. So they just have to upload it digitally. We have our own technology to verify them, and they start their business immediately.
So
get their vehicles verified and started.
Give me a use case. Typical day. There is a driver. He's got Towner app on the phone. What happens next?
All right. So he gets an app. He downloads it and he puts up his name, his number, his email ID, and what kind of service he is trying to opt for. Okay. And then he puts up his personal details, his driving license, his selfie, and his insurance and other details, and then he goes in for the vehicle documents. Okay, so vehicle documents in India, in particular state, whatever the documents are required for the commercial vehicles, the permit, the insurance, and the pollution emission certificate, and the other parts of it. So those documents is uploads it. That's it. We get a notification with our this thing, and we run it through our technology, and the documents gets verified very quickly, and that's it. Voila, he's ready to do his business. That's all.
Wonderful. So I'm a person who's waiting for a taxi, so I should also have installed that app, correct? So he can find me on that, or can he? Do I not need to install the app?
Not necessarily. So this is a very interesting question that you have asked. So this is what I say the ACE card. ACE card. So what we have brought here. So exactly. So that is what we have found. So there is a limitation with this technology app or any app basically. So you have to have, both parties have to have the apps to connect. Okay. So now we brought something where you don't have to depend on it. As a user, as a commuter, you don't need an app. You don't need a smartphone. You simply hop onto the cab. You ask the cab driver, boss, I want to go to this place B. Okay. And there is no haggling. He simply opens our app Towner and he puts in the name, destination, his phone number, and he starts the ride. He shows the approximate fare and the rider accepts it and he is like, okay, let's go.
But how does he reach the rider? How does he know the rider wants a ride?
Right. So this is one of the cases where, say, for example, you are coming from US.
Right.
Okay. And you land at the Bangalore airport.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
We are meeting and we have a meeting scheduled and you start from airport. So what do? So you may even go to Ola. You don't have an Ola because you're staying in US, say for example.
Yeah.
You have an Uber. That Uber may not work here.
Yeah.
Right. So say for example, you are at the airport. You approach a cab. There is a cab driver standing there. You approach him. You are like, brother, can you take me here? So instead of haggling, you are discussing. You don't know what prices runs here, what are the rates here, what are the regulations here, you don't know anything. And he was like, don't worry ma'am. So he will just open the app, he takes your number, and he puts in the destination and he shows you, and this is how it's going to be. And it runs exactly like any other ride hailing applications without any hassles. Most importantly, you still get all the details about your ride, and you still get an e-invoice as well. An electronically generated invoice, which makes it completely transparent and a legal ride. So anyone who is traveling for their business purpose, who wants to create an invoice which has to be deposited back to the office for the reimbursement purposes.
Yeah.
So that also is able to do it. And I think today only we had such a use case where the driver, he himself called and sir, he's like, sir, I had a fantastic use case. This guy, he booked it through another aggregator app. I won't take the name for obvious reason. And he was like, this is what the total bill it is showing. Will you take me? And he was like, but I need an invoice as well. And he was like, okay, I have this new application and I would like to use that. And he was like, okay. And he was like, oh, this is fantastic. So the fare is less for the commuter, whoever is the user is. So on the other application, it was around 1300 rupees, Indian rupees.
Because they take a margin, right? The middle guy is
exactly
margin. And I was wondering how the driver knows where the rider is coming. Do they go to those taxi stops? Is that where they find, they go and wait for the rider, or how do they locate a rider?
Again, there is both ways. So there is an old school ways that we can do it and still bring them online on the technology. And then we have the regular things that we are doing, but that we are doing in a very interesting way. So you mentioned about ONDC, how ONDC is working, right? Correct. So ONDC is creating that interoperability between different platforms.
Correct.
Right? So that is what we are doing. That is where we are coming in the picture. We are simplifying the whole process. So all these drivers who registers with us, so what we do is we list their services across multiple platforms, multiple channels, whereby we have tie-up with. That is what we call them as a lead generating platforms. So it's a win-win situation. So they get online leads as well from these multiple lead generating platforms. Thereby, they are not dependent on any particular channel. Let's say one channel doesn't give them the leads. They still have further more channels available for them.
Awesome. So tell me about, how you're doing with partnerships. I know it's important to connect with the rider. It's like a D2C, but still this D2C connection is driven by a lot of partnerships. What kind of partnerships does a startup like yours do?
See, as I said just now, so it's a win-win thing. Okay. So there are so many platforms in India which has millions of active users on their platform, right? They have spent money and time to acquire all these millions of customers. Now is the time for them to monetize that resource, those users. How do they do it? I'm presenting them the best opportunity whereby, they can monetize it each and every day. Okay. So all those users on these platforms, active users, they're getting a chance, okay, to avail these services. Okay. So customer, they don't have to install any new application. There is no hassle. Already there are hundreds of applications on our phones these days. No one wants to install another new application and give in details and all those things. It's already done. We are there.
Correct.
Just I'm giving that provision wherein the customer already existing in other application, he just simply gets that discoverability. Oh, I'm able to do that.
Yeah.
So you go there, just look for or search for I want a cab. That's all. And you have it.
Can we talk to your application? No, actually your application is not installed. Looks like it's very invisible. Your app is pretty invisible, which is nice. Any extremely advanced application is invisible. Like
Okay.
it's around you, but you don't see it. It's on you, but you don't see it. Kind of. So that's the most interesting part about your startup. You don't need to install. So what's in it for the partners? Why would a partner want to feature you? Let's say I'm your partner and I have 1 million people on my platform. Why would I partner with you?
Okay, it's very simple. So you are a partner. You are providing a lead to my business partner, who is a taxi owner.
Correct.
Okay, and he will charge a small lead generating fee because he is providing a lead.
Correct.
And even the customer is absolutely okay with that, because the overall fee is still very less than what the aggregator is offering.
So who is paying your platform? How do you make money?
So drivers. So we are a SaaS platform. Okay. This is the first time a SaaS platform in the taxi industry. So as we are saying, we are not coming in the transaction between the taxi owners and their customers.
Correct.
Okay. We are helping them with the technology.
Right.
And for the technology, we are charging them some amount which they are more than happy to pay us, because we are reducing their burden by more than 90%. What they are paying on other platforms, we are reducing their burden by 90%, and still they are earning much more, okay, than what they are earning, minimum 30% more than what they are earning usually, and still taking more home. So they are more than happy. Most importantly, they get all the independence.
Very nice. So coming to the traction metrics of your startup, what kind of traction metrics are you looking at? How many taxis are there? I know you're living in Bangalore, but what are the metros like, and what are the small towns like? Give me an idea of what is the market size you're looking at.
Oh, okay. That's a very, juicy question you asked.
Because Bangalore traffic is like, oh my God, it's just crazy. And I know there are metros coming up, but honestly, you're dealing with a lot of cars here. And there are also the two-wheelers. I didn't even get to that. If there will ever be two-wheelers in the taxi market, I know there are four-wheelers, but India is a place where two-wheelers are doing a lot of things. There's a two-wheeler porter, there's a two-wheeler Swiggy. I'm sure there'll be a two-wheeler taxi soon. So you're dealing with a lot of wheels. So give me an estimate. What are the traction metrics like?
Okay, so we have a published data on this, but as of 2019, and it's still old but still valid. So the published data as of 2019 that this market in India is worth $40 billion market.
$40 billion. Wow. Okay. What is the name of the market? Is this the taxi market or is it the ride?
Taxi market.
Okay.
Taxi market. Taxi ride hailing market, which consists of four-wheeler vehicles and three-wheeler vehicles.
Oh yeah.
Three-wheelers that we call auto-rickshaws.
So you are able to register auto-rickshaws also. Wonderful, yes. Wonderful. That's what they do, right? Uber, auto rickshaws and stuff. So, yeah, awesome. You know, air traffic could also be a part of your ecosystem soon, because
yes,
here in Silicon Valley, where I'm sitting, a lot of people are working on flying vehicles, and India is so open to adopting new technologies right now. They are acing it in digital payments and so many other technologies. AI, they are acing. So air traffic really makes sense in a city like Bangalore or
that will solve the traffic problem.
It will solve all the traffic problem. Absolutely. I know metros are doing what they can, but air traffic air traffic with zero carbon emission. I'm sure that a lot of startups are coming up like that. You know, scooters with EV batteries are coming up. Huge funding they're getting. Right. So I'm sure your app will be soon registering them also. So yeah, you're saying a lot more juicy details. Give me the juicy details.
Yeah, so I was telling, so this is as of 2019, that is 40 billion, which has been increasing at a very fast pace of 24.7, let's say 25% annually. That is how much it is growing. That is how the huge market is in India. And very interestingly, and this is what even ONDC team has told, that the market penetration is less than 10%.
Why? Why isn't somebody doing what you're doing? Or why is it that what you're doing is better than somebody else who's doing this?
Right. So this industry is completely unorganized. Okay. That is the reason.
Why is it unorganized?
There is no, it's not controlled by a single entity. That is one thing. That is the reason the aggregators have been thriving so far. And secondly, it is very difficult to, put them under one single entity. Okay, because the taxi drivers, they are entrepreneurial in nature. You cannot control them.
Yes, in
You
India,
cannot.
India is entrepreneurial. So I'm thinking, why centralizing required? Why don't you leave them decentralized and manage with the decentralized information?
That is what we are doing. we are doing we are doing it decentralized, but in a very organized way. We are leaving them as they are.
Wonderful.
Okay, we are not putting any limitations to them, but we are giving them more power to them. Okay, they want to be decentralized. They want to be free from any shackles, but still how you want empower them. That is how you empower them. That is how you give it. And when you ask me what different we are doing, so the solution that we are creating is a very tailor-made solution for a tier 2, tier 3 city market,
Wow.
which is no one has penetrated yet, and which is a huge market.
Huge market, huge potential. It's like a
Huge
sleeping lion. You
Yep.
don't wake up the lion. If you wake up the lion, then you have to deal with it. So it's like a sleeping giant, and absolutely. And a lot of investors here from the valley, they look for this IIT, IIM, and whatnot, right? But there are some very smart investors I work with who are putting money in startups in India. They are looking at people who are making difference in tier 2 and tier 3, and this is even a blue ocean, like an untapped market for investors also. So Rahul, I know we had a great discussion about what your app is and the kind of difference you're making, the market size, but always there is this pitch, one sentence pitch, which you do to anybody in a elevator or at a bus stop or at a coffee shop. What is Towner Taxi app? What do you do in one sentence? How can you explain it?
Okay, so we are a technology provider to the taxi driver, taxi owners, empowering them and transforming them to become a digital travel agencies.
Wonderful. I love that. And I would also add decentralized, giving them full autonomy. But that is a drag. What you said is perfect. Now, let's say I'm an investor. I want to invest in your company. Give me your traction metrics. Tell me how much you're raising and what are you going to do with it and why I should invest in you.
Okay, so to start with, so what we have observed, so we just launched 15 days back, and the response that we got is amazing. We got more than 500 downloads in just 15 days without spending anything on marketing. That is the kind of potential this market has, this platform has, because the reason here is when you're creating something of a value, okay, it is very quickly absorbed.
Yeah.
Very quickly absorbed in the market, and now the demand is huge. The people are behind us, like okay, you're launched in Bangalore. We want it pan Karnataka. We want it in other states. We want it in pan India. That is how the demand is. But to grow so much, so big and so fast, we need that kind of a support, that kind of a backup.
Yeah.
So that is where I am requesting anyone who synchronizes with our motivation, our vision, what we are trying to do with this society at the grassroots level and the value that we are bringing. We are very happy to join hands and create that kind of impact.
What is the check size you're looking to raise?
So right now we are raising around 500,000. So this round we are raising 500,000, and that gives us the complete runway with what we are doing across India, and the growth potential that we are looking is so I have a number in Indian rupees, so that is almost 200 crores in a year. That's a whole revenue that we are targeting.
Okay, wonderful. So good luck to you on that. Are you hiring? If so, what kind of talent are you looking for?
We have a lot of talents right now. We have a very great team, as I said. So wonderful team, passionate team who are building and creating a lot of features. Very talented. And we do have a marketing team, but we are expanding. So we are expanding in terms of creating that kind of digital presence in the digital marketing segment, and as well as the operation part. So operation team also we are expanding.
Awesome, awesome. Wonderful, Rahul. So look forward to updates from you. One question I have to ask. If you got $500,000 today, in next 1 year, what are all the things you're building and what will your company look like? You said you're expanding on marketing and operations, but what will it, can you paint a picture for me? Let's say how many customers will you have? And what kind of features will you have in your app, or which places would you have expanded to?
Right. So, as you say, if I have it today, I am expanding it tomorrow, right? And I'll have to set up the operation team across state in different states. So we have a different speaking customers that we will have. So we'll have to reach out to, different cities, set up a different operation team in each cities, whereby they are supporting our drivers. And secondly, the features that we are bringing, so we are bringing in a lot of features. So we are bringing some AI features like facial recognition in terms of safety, wherein each time the driver is coming on the platform, he is getting facially recognized. So we are making sure that the driver who is driving the car, he is the one who is operating the platform. There is no one else using alias thing. And many other features that we are bringing, that you are able to get the trips, and plethora of features like complete business management, where they get the reports, analytics, and accounting parts, a lot of other features where they were able to interact with other community members, other drivers, what they are facing or what good they are doing. And many other subsidized service where they are able to get it at a very affordable cost compared to what it is in the market.
Wonderful, wonderful. There was one question which was bothering me. I'll get it out of the way. Uber was able to give the ability for driving community to become a driver. Let's say somebody worked in a paint shop, he could get a driver's license and become a driver, but you're taking away jobs from those people. How are you planning to address that market segment, which will lose out on the driving ability to drive a taxi?
Sorry, I didn't get the question. The ability to drive a taxi
means like your app is just for taxi drivers, or
right?
But let's say a Uber driver who's really not a taxi driver, he became a taxi driver, maybe he was a software engineer. Are you still going to cater to that person because he was not a professional taxi driver?
Okay, that's a very important question. So I think I didn't mention one thing. So we run as per government regulations. So whatever the government is allowing, so we are not someone who is creating a rules here. We run by whatever the rules has been set up by the government. Okay. So if government allows any person who does not hold a commercial vehicle license, we are more than happy to allow them to do it on our. But if government puts a restriction that no, sorry, we can't allow, it is legally not, you cannot do it. We can't take the legal in our hands. So we can't take the law in our hands. That is, there is some reason that government has put certain kind of restrictions in the society. So we have to honor that. We have to honor the laws. So we go by the laws.
So if you want
nothing
to be
against law.
taxi driver, then go figure out the laws and abide by it, right? That's what it is.
Yes.
Yeah, I wonder how Uber got around it. How did they? I'm sure they had a training and certification package for non-driving community, and we
are going to have it. So we are going to have all those plethora of features where, as I said, so we are empowering them to become the business owners.
Absolutely.
Okay, they are going to run their own business. So it's not just about driving. So there is going to be a lot of training information where they are developing as an individual. They are developing as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Okay, they need that kind of material. That is going to be there with respect to how to perform better, how to drive better, how to respect the customers, how to manage your business, how to grow it, what kind of things you have to do to impress your customers. Everything is going to be do.
Yeah, wonderful. So, truly, I have to end the podcast. It's been an amazing half hour you spent with us. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for this amazing game-changing application which you're building for the Indian market. And you're one of the key players in the digital India space, because India is a land of diversity and mobility. People are moving from one state to another, one city to another. It's no longer the India we grew up in. It's India which is very dynamic. People are
Right.
having homes every 2 years. They're changing and they're moving to outskirts. People who are wealthy don't want to live in the city anymore. So mobility is like at the heart of the Indian progress and growth. So you're enabling that. Thank you so much for explaining to us and patiently walking us through Towner taxi application, how it works, and things like that. On a wrap up note, I want to ask, what is your relationship with ONDC? This is probably every investor wants to know this. How do you work with ONDC? And for other founders who want to build applications on ONDC, what's your advice?
Well, ONDC is an open source, but they are also working very diligently to bring that kind of value to the grassroots level. So we are working very closely with the ONDC mobility team. So they have a separate mobility team. ONDC is working in different sectors like e-commerce, health, edtech, and the mobility. So what we are building, so we are working closely with their mobility team. So to create that kind of value. So we have the domain expertise. We know how to execute things. So we are working very closely to develop that kind of a protocol, which enables this kind of value to everyone, not just me or ONDC or government, but to everyone.
Wonderful. There are a lot more things I want to ask you about how you work with ONDC, but maybe not this podcast, maybe the next one. You're a busy man. I
Okay.
won't hold you longer than this. Any last thoughts before we wrap up?
I think that's it. So I'm very happy to like you invited and we could talk about this, and I just want to make this message reach across the communities, whereby this solution is reaching to the corners of the country where they are enriching and getting empowered, and I really want them to be happy. And it's not just an individual that we are empowering, we are empowering the families. We are empowering the millions of families that is going to impact. So it's just not one single community, but whole country that is going to get uplifted.
Yeah.
So that is what my message is.
Yeah, that's a very amazing vision. India is a land of entrepreneurs and small business entrepreneurs. Taxi business is one of those small and medium business categories, and this is a great way to empower that segment of the nation. We need more people like you, Rahul. Please come back on Pitch Cafe. I can't wait to hear what you're up to next. I hope to get lots more updates from you in our next podcast. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you to you too, to having this and spreading this message across.
Wonderful. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.